Hello, hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please do subscribe down below. My name is Adiola and I upload videos about Africa, travel and lifestyle. So today is going to be another interesting video. Today I will be following on from my previous video where I was talking about how much I actually spent whilst traveling in Ethiopia. I think I was so shocked by the number that I thought, okay, I'm gonna make this a series. So if you like budgeting, travel related videos, if you like people talking about money, like to know the ins and outs, you're a bit nosy like me, please do stay tuned as I will be uncovering how much I spent in Zambia. Let's go. So what do I say about Zambia? I think I'll give a quick introduction of how I got there, how long I spent and things like that. I only spent a day in Zambia and my gosh, was it a hectic but worth it day. Zambia was one of the few countries that I thought to myself, oh my gosh, Adiola, I really wish I had more time. My intention was only going to be to stay in Lusaka. So when I was looking online of things to do in Lusaka, there just wasn't that much to do. Zambia is really known for the waterfalls, which is in the Livingstone area, which I do want to do one day, but just because of the time that I had in the country, I just knew it wasn't possible when I was going. But I really wish that I had more time, and I really hope to go back to Zambia one day because the country was beautiful. Like just being in Lusaka itself, I was like, this is amazing. I want to spend longer here. So that's definitely something I would say. If anyone is watching this and wants to go to Lusaka, make sure you give yourself enough time, enough days, because one day is definitely not enough. I would say at least a week in Lusaka and then move on to like places like Livingstone where the waterfalls are. So let's get into the finances. Quickly before I start reveal the prices, tell me if you think it's going to be more expensive or less expensive to stay for just one day in Lusaka. Before you even land, you need to ensure that your passport is up to date, or if you need a visa, that you get the relevant visas. So luckily for me, Zambia is visa free for British citizens, so I used my British passport to enter, so I didn't have to pay any visa fees, unlike in Ethiopia. If you haven't watched that breakdown, I will link it in the cards for you. And my flight ended up costing me £120. What I did have to worry about though was the possibility of getting cash out. I really struggled getting cash out. There are about, I think, 3 ATMs or 3 companies outside of the airport, so everything's located outside of Lusaka airport, and 2 of the ATMs were down that day and one of them just wasn't working, so I struggled to get cash out. But luckily I had some dollars on me, so I will be converting the dollars that I did spend and telling you how much it is in pounds and kwacha. And kwacha is the currency used in Zambia. So next was a SIM. After I gave up on the fact that I wasn't going to get cash out that day, I went to go and get a SIM. I asked for the cheapest one they had. I told them I'm only here for a day and I just need connection. So the SIM ended up costing me £1.87, which some people might think is good, some people might think is bad. I think I was there for 2 days, but the second day I was leaving. So I don't know, you calculate it the way you want, but I only stayed in the country for maybe about 20 hours in total, including the nighttime as well. And then I was able to book a Yango there. I believe I used Yango there. If I didn't use Yango, I'll link the name of the company that I did use. Yango is basically like Uber or Bolt. I find Yango is very popular in Africa and the Middle East, where Ubers are not available. There's always a Yango or another kind of taxi service. So as my trip was jam-packed, I headed straight from the airport to the first destination with my suitcase and everything. So the first destination was much further than I thought. I went to the Chimanuka Lodge because the Chimanuka Lodge, which is like a private lodge where there's wild animals and there's so many activities you can do with them. So I was going there for the cheetah walking experience, which I will talk about later. Let's talk about the cost of the taxi there first. So the taxi drive took over an hour, and it was a very bumpy road. And there was just nowhere to get cash out. It's very kind of rural, hidden, which is understandable because there's wildlife there. And the taxi cost me $25, and the taxi actually cost me a lot less. On the app it said something ridiculous like 300 kwacha, which is like maybe £8 or $9.50 or something like that. It was ridiculously cheap, and I just thought, for the journey that we've had, I can't pay that much. So I ended up giving the guy $25, which probably is about £23, and in kwacha that is 815 kwacha. So now let's talk about the cheetah walking experience. So I had seen this online and it just looks so much fun. I think cheetahs are the only big cats I trust. I am very into kind of zoology and just how animals are and how they behave and things like that. And cheetahs are basically like big cats. They are the only big cats that I will get next to. A lion and a tiger, you will never catch me near them. But cheetahs, they're very kind of playful, they're very friendly. And these cheetahs that were at the lodge, I was told had recently come to the lodge. So they were still in the process of acclimatizing them. Therefore, I couldn't do the cheetah walk, which was so annoying. And I say it's annoying because I had specifically messaged them like weeks before on different platforms. Like I messaged them on Instagram, I messaged them on WhatsApp, I messaged them via email. Like I am very meticulous when I plan my trips because I want everything to go right. And traveling will teach you patience. Like I said, traveling will teach you so much patience because almost everything went wrong. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. So they told me that because the cheetahs are new and they're still in the process of acclimatizing, they can't trust them to like go on the walks because the cheetahs don't really know the routine, and you know that they're very wild animals. These cheetahs have lived in a sanctuary, they grew up in a sanctuary before coming to the lodge, so it's not like they're house cats or like they've been living in a zoo or something like that. So they're used to people, but they're not used to new environments. They're still very wild. They hunt for their own food, things like that. So yeah, overall I was disappointed to hear that because I thought I came all this way just for this, and I have my suitcase and everything, and I don't have any money. I only have dollars because I can't get any money out. It was just a nightmare of a situation. But anyways, so the manager there was very helpful. She gave me a discount. She gave me 50% off because again, it's not the same experience that I'm getting. So the 850 kwacha experience ended up costing me 425 kwacha, which is about £12.23, which is great for me because again, I saved money, but it's also disappointing because it's not the exact experience I wanted. But I'll put some pictures up and videos. I did still enjoy myself, and the cheetahs were so lovely. They was just super sweet. So then moving on was another palaver because we were literally in the middle of nowhere and it was getting dark at this point. I asked the staff members that were there, I said, well, how's everyone getting home? Can I like just hitchhike with you guys? No, we can arrange a driver for you, which is usually about 1,200 kwacha, which is just under £34. And I said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I said, can I not carpool with the staff members and just share the cost? And they said no, because the cars are already full. It's the same people going in, same people going out, so the car is full. So by the grace of God, because I was not ready to spend £34. I know it doesn't sound that bad in this case. £34 is about maybe $40 something, but just because I knew I was there for a day, I just didn't want to spend that money. So by the grace of God, there were some fellow travelers from England with a Zambian guy, and they gave me a ride. He told me absolutely free. So Zambian hospitality right there. Super lovely people. Yeah, so he told me it was absolutely free, but I did give him some because honestly, it saved me so much, because I was thinking, how the hell am I gonna get out of this place? So it was called Twin Palm Mall, and once I got to Twin Palm Mall, one of the Zambian hitchhikers showed me some restaurants that I can go to eat, which was really, really nice of her. That day I just wasn't really feeling anything experimental. I didn't want to try anything new, so I just went to, I think it was almost like a fast food chain. I got, can you imagine? I just got bread roll and ice cream because that's all I wanted. So that ended up costing me £3.57. After failing to find a working ATM for my card again at Twin Palm Mall, I booked myself, I believe it was Bolt or Yango again, from my app, and then I went to my hotel. And luckily all the drivers there were accepting of dollars. I think they were a little bit annoyed, but also I was annoyed. I didn't have cash and I couldn't get cash out. It was very frustrating. Even my hotel couldn't change it. But anyways, the taxi ride ended up costing me $4 to my hotel. At my hotel, luckily I had enough points on my hotels.com app. They've got this thing where they give you credit and points. So that hotel stay ended up being free for me, so I didn't have to pay for that hotel. The next day is when I kind of went on a wild goose chase looking for an ATM. I woke up super early and I was able to leave my stuff luckily at the hotel, and I went looking for an ATM, and I found one working ATM at Levy Park Mall. I used my Starling card and I also used my Monzo card. So if you're in the UK, you know what those banks are. If you're outside of the UK, those are MasterCard banks. They're kind of like the mobile banking. Love them for traveling because you can take money out without any fees from that bank, but there may be some fees on the ATM. So yeah, I ended up taking out about £34.50, which was about 1,200 kwacha. There was also a fee from the ATM. I can't remember the exact bank's name. It wasn't on my bank statement when I looked, but it is in Levy Park Mall. So if you ever need a working ATM for your bank, your international MasterCard, definitely in Levy Park Mall you can find one working. So this money I used to pay for the transportation around the city, because I ended up doing my own kind of walking tour. If you've watched my vlog, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I will link it down below. Please do watch the Zambia vlog, because this will make a lot more sense what I'm talking about. You'll see the kind of progression in the days. So the second day I ended up doing my own walking tour. I went to the Kabwata Cultural Village, I went to the National Museum, some freedom monuments, some cathedrals. So all of the taxis I ended up taking, all of the knickknacks I ended up buying, the souvenirs, things like that. That took me to my total, and then I also spent the rest of the money on my fee to go to the airport. So I headed back to the airport that same day, and I still had some money left over, and I ended up using that money at the airport. So I bought lunch at the airport and only had to pay an extra £2.19, about 77 kwacha, which I think is really, really good. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. How much do you think I spent in one day in Zambia? And so my total spent in Zambia for only one day cost me £201.36. So I think that's actually really good, especially once you take out the flights. It means I only spent about £80, which I think is really, really good for a day, especially as I had some things free. Let me know in the comments down below if you think this is perfectly reasonable to spend for a day trip in a country. Let me know if it's cheaper or more expensive than you expected as well, and let me know if you think I did a better job than my last video. If you haven't already watched that, I'll link it in the cards down below. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful and informative, and if you have, please do like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.